Hey everyone, it's Kino here. Thanks for tuning in. The yoga practice it's a journey to the center of yourself, and the practice is about cultivating an attitude of patience and tolerance. Sometimes in Sanskrit this is called the cultivation of metta, and metta is sometimes translated as loving kindness. And one of the most important steps in the journey of yoga is to learn to be so gentle with yourself and ultimately so gentle with the world around you. This doesn't mean that you don't push yourself physically or challenge yourself, but it means you grow your heart big enough to love yourself and your world exactly as it is. When you practice patience and tolerance, you embody the kindness of what it means to live the yogi's life. The essence of the yoga practice is about humility and kindness, and to be humble, to be kind, to treat each other with respect, and to really embrace the purity of who you really are. This is the essence of the practice. I'll be reminding you of that throughout today's practice. And we'll go through a relatively easy practice, so it'll be really good for all levels, especially if you're newer to the practice or just want to take it easy today. Move your hands together and we'll start this journey with the sound Om. Inhale. Exhale. Gently let your hands rest down to a comfortable position. We'll start off with the eyes closed, cultivating a meditative mind, the equanimous mind full of patience and tolerance. Bring your attention to the breath, the inflowing and the outgoing breath. Bring your attention to the steady pace of inhalation and exhalation. Allow yourself to feel the passage of breath. And we'll start off by counting the breaths backwards from 10. 10 in, 10 out. 9 in, 9 out. 8 in, 8 out. 7 in, 7 out. 6 in, 6 out. 5 in, 5 out. 4 in, 4 out. 3 in, 3 out. 2 in, 2 out. 1 in, 1 out. Gently allow your eyes to open, keeping a calm and equanimous mind. Slowly move over onto your hands and knees. Adjusting your hands and knees so your hands are shoulder width apart and your knees are just about hips width apart. And we'll hold the tabletop position for a couple breaths, getting used to bearing weight on the hands. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. 1. Draw the belly deeply in. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Exhale, sink all the way back to child's pose for a moment, resting your forehead down. Nice deep inhalation, nice deep exhalation. Then inhale, come all the way back up to the tabletop pose, and we'll start with a little bit of movements to strengthen the shoulder girdle. Draw the belly in. Exhale, drop your chest down. Inhale, big push, take it up. Let's do that 5 times. 1, exhale, go down. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, go down. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, go down. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, go down. Inhale, big push, take it up. One more time. Exhale, down. Inhale, take it up and hold it up. 1, draw the belly inside. 2, 3, 4. Curl your toes under and inhale, lift all the way back to downward facing dog. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. Draw the belly deeply in. 1. Hollow out the low belly. 2. Take a moment and just tune into your body. Just check deeply in. 3. Be real patient with yourself. If your heels aren't on the ground or your knees aren't straight, no problem. 4. And 5. Sink back down onto your knees and sending your chest forward. Walk your legs gently back. Come all the way down. Come up onto the elbows and let's hold the Sphinx Pose for a couple breaths. Lift the center of the chest up and forward and 5 breaths. 1. Point your toes and lift the kneecaps up off the ground. Make space between the joints of the spine. 2. Don't try to force yourself to go real deep. Just be here with your body. 4, keep your butt muscles soft, engage the back muscles a little, and 5, walk your hands back, come back up into the tabletop position, and we'll hold this again just for a couple breaths to get stable this time. Now, we'll do some opposite leg lifts. So we'll start off lifting the right leg. Inhale, point your right toes, lifting the right leg off the ground, and we'll lift up and down 5 times. Inhale, lift it up, exhale, down. Inhale, lift it up, exhale, down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, down. And as you lift up, reach back, almost like you're scooping back from underneath with the low belly. Exhale, take it down. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. 1 more. Inhale, up. And this time we're going to hold it up. So hold. 1. Reach back with your right toes. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Plant your right leg down. Let's do the left side. Point the left toes almost like you're sweeping from underneath. Inhale, reach, exhale, down. Inhale, reach, exhale, down. Inhale, suck the belly in, exhale, down. Inhale, suck the belly in, exhale, down. And 1, we'll do that 5 times. Exhale, down. 2, and exhale, down. 3, reach it back, exhale, down. 4, reach it back, exhale, down. Last one, hold it up. 1, 2, keep reaching. 3, 4, and 5. Place it down. Now we'll try to integrate the opposite hand. So we'll be lifting the right leg and the left arm. We won't go up and down quickly, but we'll hold. So here we go. Inhale, right leg and the left arm. 1, 2, keep your gaze down. 3, 4, maximize the space between your left hand and your right foot. 4, and 5. Place it down. Come to the tabletop full position and we'll switch the sides. Right arm in the left leg. 1, keep your gaze down so you don't crane the neck. 2, 3, 4, almost there, big reach, and 5. Come back to the tabletop position. And now let's see if we can lift it all the way up into the plank pose. Your shoulders should be a little bit more warmed up now, so let's see if we can find that. Bring the shoulders forward and inhale. Come on up to the plank pose. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale down to your belly. Inhale, send the center of the chest up and forward, coming up onto the elbows, lifting the sternum for the Sphinx Pose. Curl your toes under and exhale, downward facing dog. Hanging out here for a few breaths. 2, 3, use your breath to make peace with the body. 4, and 5. Inhale, step your right foot forward, planting the left knee down, point the toes. Then inhale, come up, lifting the ribs away from the hips. Hands in prayer, and we'll stay here for 5. 1, 2, steady your breath. 3, 4, and 5. Gently take the hands down, step back, holding the plank pose for a moment. all the way back to downward dog. Let's switch the sides nice and easy. Left foot forward, right knee down, point your toes. Inhale, bringing the hands in prayer. 1, lifting the ribs up and away from the hips. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Taking the hands down, let's step it back to the plank pose and straight to downward facing dog. Now in downward facing dog today, we're going to come forward using the core just a little bit. So look forward, check out that space right between your hands, come forward into the plank pose and bring the right knee up into your chest for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and all the way back to downward facing dog. Let's try the other side. Look forward, pressing from the shoulders, and inhale, left knee into your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, and all the way back to downward facing dog. This time from downward facing dog, look forward, inhale, step the right foot forward, planting the left knee down, left heel down, not the knee down, and straighten the left leg. Inhale, come up into the warrior 1 legs. So stabilize through the legs, sending the right knee forward. Hold it here for a moment. Feel the legs strong and underneath you, hands in prayer. Inhale, raise the hands above your head. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hands in prayer. Drop your right elbow onto the right knee and inhale, spiral through the left shoulder, gazing at the left fingers for 5 breaths. 1. If you find this very easy, you can deepen the posture by dangling the right arm behind you and gazing at the left fingers. 4 and 5. Spiral that left hand down to the ground, spin the left foot forward, step back to the plank pose. Exhale, chest to the ground. This time we'll see if we can lift all the way up to upward facing. So press all the way up and lift your chest forward for a nice easy upward facing. Exhale, roll back, downward facing. Inhale, step your left foot forward, planting the right heel down, coming up into the stance of warrior 1. Pausing for a moment, feel your legs underneath you, belly draws deeply in, hands in prayer. Inhale, bring the hands above your head, 5 breaths. 1, take time in this moment to appreciate your body, tune in to the inner space, being patient and tolerant with yourself, cultivating an attitude of friendliness, opening the heart center upwards towards the hands. 4 and 5. Come on down with your hands, hooking your left forearm down, spiral that right shoulder forward, and we'll stay for a couple breaths. 2, 3. If it's comfortable for you, you can take your left fingertips on the ground. 4 and 5. Switch your gaze forward, taking the hands down, and we'll step all the way back to the plank pose. Holding plank, exhale. This time, if you can keep your chest off the ground, roll forward to upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Now, switching your gaze forward, step forward, crossing your feet, coming to a seated position. Stretch your legs out in front, drawing the belly deeply in, hands next to the hips for Dandasana position. Drawing the belly deeply in, 5 breaths. 1. As you turn the mind inward, cultivate an attitude of self-acceptance. 3, be patient with yourself. Don't force the forward bend. 4 and 5. Gently reaching forward, either resting your hands on your shins or if possible holding onto the toes. Inhale, send the center of the chest up and forward, and gently exhale, pivot and fold. It doesn't matter how far forward you go, so you could be up here focusing on the inner body, or you could be all the way down here, but the attention is dropped into the inner space. 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, the chest is up and forward. Exhale. Inhale, coming all the way up. We're taking the hands back, pointing the toes. We're moving into Utkatasana, which is sometimes called the reverse plank. This is a pretty hard pose, so let's really be sure to set it up. Roll the shoulders forward, draw the elbows towards each other, suck the belly deeply in. If you know you're going to have a hard time with this, you can bend your knees doing a reverse tabletop, okay? But if possible, we'll keep the legs straight. So inhale, lift the hips, lift the hips, lift the hips. Once the hips are lifted, drop the head back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Exhale. Nice and easy, sink down. Cross your feet underneath you, and we're going to step all the way back to plank. So rolling over the feet, easy. Step back to the plank pose. Exhale down to chaturanga. Inhale, come up to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Then, looking forward, give yourself a little step, a little hop forward, stretching your legs out in front. Most of the seated poses are going to start off with Dandasana position, and this is like our neutral position when we begin new poses. Bend your right knee up, and we're going to move into the posture called Marichasana A. Drawing the belly deeply in, roll your right shoulder forward and around, and we'll hold it here for a few moments. Now, if you know that binding your hands around your back is going to be a little uncomfortable, then as you go forward, you might want to grab a strap or a towel so that when the hands reach for each other, you'll be able to grab that. So, as you're moving forward, roll the shoulder forward and around, reaching for the hands behind your back. Then inhale, lift the chest forward, and exhale, gently fold. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, lift the center of the chest, sucking the belly in, releasing the bind. Take a moment and just forgive yourself whether or not you got your hands, because remember, the practice isn't about that. Then drop the right knee out to the side, pulling the heel all the way into the groin. And this is a posture called Janu Sirsasana A. So sucking the belly even deeper in, align your sternum forward to the left knee, spiral forward, holding on to your foot or holding on to the shin. Then inhale again, sucking deeply in, and exhale, fold. We'll stay here for 5. 1. Practice patience and tolerance with yourself. Don't force. Let the body be as it is. Don't judge. 3. Learning to accept yourself. You will then be able to transfer that same state of acceptance and tolerance to your whole world. And 5. Inhale, straighten the arms, and exhale. Inhale, come all the way up, and we'll cross the feet underneath you. So cross underneath you, and let's step on back to the plank pose. So here we are in the plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, come forward to upward facing, and exhale down. Switching your gaze forward, let's come on forward, and we'll switch over to the other side. Stretching the legs forward, starting off in Dandasana position. Bend your left knee into the chest for Marichasana A. The first of the pose is dedicated to the sage Marichi. Now, that left shoulder comes forward. You'll notice my left hip comes off the ground. Let it come off the ground. If you know you're going to have a hard time binding, your hands behind your back, grab a towel or a yoga strap to help you bind. Otherwise, think about that internal rotation of the shoulder, separating your torso from your thigh, hands behind the back. Inhale, the belly draws in, and exhale, fold. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale. Dropping the left knee out to the side, bringing the heel into the body for Janu Sirsasana A. Again, the belly draws in, orient your sternum to the right knee, reaching forward, and you can hold on to your shin, you can hold your foot, or possibly your hands. Inhale, the belly draws in. Exhale, easy fold. 1. Take time to make peace with yourself, peace with the inner body. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, straighten the arms, and exhale. Inhale, come all the way up, and this time instead of jumping back, we're going to do a little bit of core work. Bending your knees into your chest, let's do a little bit of core work. Inhale, straighten the arms, keeping the belly drawn in, and lift the chest up and forward. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now slowly lean back until your sacrum is hovering on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, come all the way up. Point your right foot up in the air, and we'll hold that for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right leg down, left leg up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale down. Now, slowly inhale, bring both legs all the way up for Navasana. 1, 2, 3. If it's real hard for you, you can hold underneath your knees, but try to keep the arms straight if possible. 4 and 5. Bend your knees and exhale slowly all the way down and pick your knees up into your chest. Hold it there for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hold your right knee into your chest, stretching out the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, and switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and switch. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and switch. 1, 2, 3, tighten the belly. 4 and 5. Both knees into your chest, cross your feet, hold the feet, rock all the way up. Okay, now from here we're going to move into a little bit of twisting. Coming all the way forward, start off in Dandasana position, keeping the belly drawn in. Pull the right knee into your chest, hugging yourself in, and we're going to twist over to the right side. Draw the belly in and fold your torso around the thigh. As you fold the torso around the thigh, stretch your left arm out, fingertips on the ground, and look over the right shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you can choose to remain here, then turn the elbow until you wrap all the way around, bringing your hands towards each other. 1. And remember, you don't have to go for a deeper version. You could just stay in the basic first version of the twist. 3, 4, and 5. Gently come out. Slowly wrap your body all the way around, back to the center, and we'll try the other side. Pull the left knee into your chest, hug it in for a moment, and then roll the torso over to the side, stretching the arms out. Look over to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's really important to challenge yourself and then practice accepting yourself in the face of that challenge. So not all yoga poses need to be easy, but if you cultivate an attitude of acceptance, patience, and tolerance as you meet challenge, you'll be able to have a more peaceful mind. Drop that right shoulder around if possible, and then gently bringing the hands towards each other, looking over to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Gently release, coming back all the way forward. Bend your knees underneath you, come to a kneeling position. From the kneeling position, pause for a moment with your feet folded underneath you. Then inhale as you come up onto the knees. If you know that your back feels a little tight, you can curl your toes underneath you. But if possible, we'll leave the feet elongated back. Place your hands right on your hip bones. Your thumbs back onto your sacrum, and we'll just hold it there for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and gently sink back down. Exhale all the way to Child's Pose. Inhale, come all the way back up, taking your hands right back onto your waist. And now from here, remember, you can choose to stay here and just focus on creating length, or we're going to take it all the way back into the posture called Utkatasana, or the Camel Pose. So lifting the ribs away from the hips, send your pelvis forward, moving the hips forward, softening the butt muscles, lifting the ribs away from the hips, dangling the arms back, and we'll come to that Utkatasana position. 1, 2, 3, 4, and sending the hips forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, settle the hips down, rolling forward to the child's pose position again. Stabilize here. Nice big inhale. Nice big exhale. Widen your knees, and let's come into a modified version of the child's pose to help the hips release. Walk your hands forward, starting off with your forehead on the ground, and eventually placing your chin down. 5 more breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slowly walk it all the way back up. Curl your toes underneath you. From the squatting position, sink the heels down, hands in prayer. We're going to move into Utkatasana for 5 breaths. 1, knees together. 2, 3, 4, and now sinking back through the hips, raise your arms up for another 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, hands in prayer. Straighten your legs, stepping the feet hips width apart. Inhale, send the center of the chest forward, and exhale, nice easy forward bend. 1, as far as you can go, totally fine. You don't need to force yourself to go super deep. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, stretch your chest forward, and exhale. Now, we're going to try a little bit of a challenge. So come up onto your fingertips, and then send your chest forward. Inhale, send your right leg back, and we'll hold the right leg back. Try to square your hips. We'll hold this for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3. If you can come up onto only your index fingers. 4, and 5. Take your hands back down. We'll switch the sides, cupping the fingers. Inhale, send the left leg back. Don't lift it up too high. Keep it at the same height as your hips. 2, chest is forward. If you can come up onto your index finger. 3, 4, and 5. Place your feet together. Inhale, exhale, fold forward. We're going to try that one more time. Inhale, lift your chest up. Now, as you may find yourself losing balance here, cultivate that attitude of patience and tolerance so you don't get too much off your center. Enjoy the challenge. So it's going to be a little harder. Inhale, lift your right leg back. Transfer your weight onto your left leg. Hands in prayer. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hands down. Switch the legs. Right leg down, left leg comes up, switch your gaze forward, hands in prayer. 1, 2, 3, 4, and bringing the hands down. Exhale, bring the legs together. Exhale, forward folds. Gently bend the knees, coming to a squatted position. You guys ready for a little bit of a challenge? So remember to remain patient with yourself, tolerant with yourself, even amidst the challenge. In the squatting position, open your knees, taking your hands in prayer. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Take your hands forward, wrapping the elbows in, gently placing the knees as close to the armpits as you can, moving the shoulders forward, and inhale, Bakasana for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, jump back, lying your chest down for a moment. Inhale, come all the way forward to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Let's hang out in downward dog for a few breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switching your gaze forward. Inhale, move your shoulders forward over your hands, and then walking your right hand forward. Let's come into the side plank. Holding the side plank for a moment. Lift your left arm up. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Taking the left hand down. Bring your hand down. Inhale, come forward to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Come forward to the plank pose again. Walk your left hand a little forward, and we'll come up onto the left side. 1, 2, 3. We're almost done. Don't give up. 4 and 5. Slide that hand down. Come forward into the plank pose. Inhale, right to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Walk your hands back just to position yourself on the mat for a moment, and slide your feet forward, stretching out your legs. I've got one last challenge for you, and then we're going to lie down. You ready for the last challenge? Take your hands forward of the hips. As your hands move forward of the hips, gently slide your hips back and up and hold. 1. If possible, your legs come off the ground, but 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slowly, calmly, rolling through the spine, lie all the way down. Close your eyes. A nice big inhale and exhale. A nice big inhale and exhale. Allow yourself a few moments of peace, where your mind comes to rest. But from a deep state of inner resolution, move your fingers and toes. Bend through the knees, bend through the elbows, drawing the knees into your chest for a moment, rolling over onto your side. After you return to a comfortable seated position, close your eyes for a moment, tune in. Tune in to the spiritual journey of the practice, the essence of the inner world, planting the seeds of patience and tolerance, kindness, gentleness deep in the center of your heart. Gently bring your hands in prayer. Let the brilliance of the Spirit illuminate you from within. Thank you so much for letting me be your guide into the inner tradition of yoga. Namaste.